So, welcome back to my corner. I'm Raven from south of Norway. Today I suppose it would be Kvitra, meaning simply white raven. So I've been to here in Asia for some time now, and I really thought that Indians were good businessmen. But what I did notice is that their program is running on a very old manuscript that when I am passing those cheap shops that sell you cheap shit, which is very nice to have. Oh, well, actually, like the stuff I'm wearing. So, I thought to myself many times, and I even thought about working with some Indians, but then I thought again, if I'm going to work with these kind of Indians, some of them are great, some of them are friends of mine, and I thought, but they are in this publicity mindset, like the way they are decorating, the way they are thinking about, I'm trained in this shit, how to sell, how to do it, so why am I not driving a limo? Like I said before, I'm retired, so I'm just sharing some of my knowledge for those of you who really have that flame to wanting to, perhaps. So we are going to do some sessions today. We are going to check upon like what could be needed in your mindset and what to do in the financial situation that you are in. This is about what this is about is that instead of looking for a fucking boss that can give you some fucking money, then be your own boss. Okay? Now, I know that a few Indians and Nepalese, not to mention the Nepalese, have been humping my leg a lot in order to gain access into the white world. And, because, oh my God, I got the white chick, I got the white raven, then things will be in order. Which is true in a certain degree, but if your head is fucked, I'm not going to unfuck you. I'm not going to unfuck you. I'm not going to unfuck that. So, if you want to work with me, first of all, I do not appreciate it when people are kissing my ass. I already know my ass is pale and that I don't need a lot of Indians kissing my ass. Second of all, having 7 layers of masks like this. These people are doing short-term business, not just by giving me the fake smile. 70% of what they tell me is the truth, so they say, I can check it up. It sounds very sincere. But I have this little stomach feeling that something ain't right here. Saturn is popping up. And you find yourself, you go home and you check your goods a little bit and you're like, yeah, this one's good, this one's good, this one is all good. And you go back one more time and they are pulling your strings. They are thinking that, oh my God. I don't know what they're thinking, honestly, because they do not have a returning customer. They are thinking very short term. And let's face it, if their shop is positioned in a filthy street, are they really doing that well? Virgo. Now what can Virgo do for you if you're going to be your own boss? What's she going to do for you? I'll tell you what she can do for you. So this is about starting up your own business, and first of all you need to stop worrying about the debt you have. Unless you come from a country like me. If you come from a country like me, then don't worry about it at all, because the only thing that can kill you there is the interest that they are putting on you. There are ways to fight that. So I've been there a couple of times. I helped out myself. This is protect yourself. And I also helped someone else. Turns out that helping certain kind of people, like you could feed entire Africa with giving them bananas and fruits and money, but they're only going to spend it. Teach them how. You give them fish, and then you teach them how to fish. Yeah. So I had myself before multiple streams of income when I decided that, you know, actually my doctor decided me and her together we conspired and decided that, you know, let's retire this beast so she can travel the world and heal the world for all its suffering. Yeah. So Uranus in reverse. Some of you have issues thinking original. I need a boss. I need money, so I need a boss to confirm that my shit is good enough. Okay, so we are going to work a little bit on that. So, first of all, when you are making up your own stuff, you want to be appealing. So if you're going to apply for a job, make sure that your clothes and all that stuff looks awesome. You know, if you are going to apply for a job as a mechanic, you don't dress up like you're going to work in Tokyo on the stock market there, or in New York on the stock market there. You dress like a fucking mechanic, but you don't stink. You take a shower before. So this is the obvious things. Venus, be appealing. Now, if you're going to make something and display it for people, catch their eye. Also show love. Don't show fake love. Don't smile when you want to, you know, and you don't go and apply for a job or you don't make your own job. This one is spinning. So the time is now. For those of you who really have nightmares and worries and you're waiting for something awesome to come in, know that that commitment ain't going to happen because you failed to think that I'm capable of doing things on my own. Some of you could even be inside a love connection which ain't happening simply because you have your mind into, there is this disappointment here. So the love connection, Gemini, is not necessarily it, but some of you could have been on a breakup now. And if that's the fact, you have a new book to write. You have things. Everything shitty that is happening in your life is your new job. I'm going to teach you what two guys taught me once upon a time. Whatever shit happening in your life, whatever thing that you will overcome, even when you haven't overcome it, is your money income, because you're going to talk about it, write about it. People are going to listen and they are going to pay for it. Now, if you are in a country, if you're an Indian and you're in India, people are not going to notice you very well. If you're Norwegian and you're a woman and you're in Norway with these kind of problems, people are not going to notice you very well. Now, if you're a white woman, you go to India, people will notice you very well, and you will have people running after you with work to do, how to make money, and you don't even have to pay for one single shit in your entire life if you just go to the specific places. However, that too comes with a price, because you go from being a free white bird into someone's possession. Now the sun is actually shining all the time. Now how can you make someone else's life shine just like your life is shining? Because that is when they would want more of you, and that is when you can put your ass on that sexy ass bike and move forward in your life. Saturn is all about obstacles, but it's also, it is the ruler of the cap, the horned god. It is the CEO of our zodiac, and so I meet Capricorns all the time. One of the first Capricorns I met was running a travel agency, and he couldn't stop trying to drain me of money and thinking that this cow had endless of money. He would also show narcissistic tendencies, and he would pretend that, let's go to this school and check out this school. Well, he would tell me that this is a manipulation technique. Do not manipulate your customer. This is old school. This is not how you sell things. Help your customer because you want to help people. Try not even to think of them as a customer or a client, because you are labeling them. At the same time, you need a limit. Now, I was a part of the travel agency where they would take me in and tell me that I was a family member, I was a friend, and at the same time, every time I spent a minute with them, they would write it down. Even when I said to them, I am here in Kannur to train Kalari, I'm not here for any fucking sightseeing. I'm not here to watch fucking Thailand. I'm not here for Katakali. I'm not here to travel in that boat. And if you're going to charge me to check up a fucking school, I'd rather take that taxi and go there on my own. Yes, Karanatan. So he would be a Capricorn. And I honestly, I hate Venus in Capricorn more than Sun in Capricorn. But this was this energy of, he would drive around, little dwarf, midget kind of person. And I would be on the back of his scooty and, oh, look at me. He would have this vibe. Oh, look at me, how awesome our firm is doing. But how much money I was giving to him, it was never enough. The problem, the big thing he did, 1, manipulation, 2, start flirting and hitting on your customer, 3, walking into someone's room and point out that they are naked. You are not invited just because my window is open and I'm naked because it's hot, okay? 3, you think that your client can't count. I tell people I can't count. Don't take advantage of that, right? So what happened? He would keep, give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more. Greed was taking him. Jealousy was taking him because I would own the martial art more than he did. Why? Because he sucked at it. Let's face it, something we sucked at. So what happened? As some of my Norwegian friends would come, one of them is a walking calculator, the other one was a drug dealer, and they would just, you guys ain't nice, and we are investing in this chick. You're fired. So that travel agency, they could have made me as a client forever. But they chose manipulation. They even threatened with the police for something they did wrong, which is cheating on the taxes. The next guy coming along, I told him what happened. He would do the same thing. What happened? He ended up at the police. So, what is your lesson here? Never underestimate your customer or client just because they're blonde, just because they tell you I can't count. All of them who tried to cheat me, my darling Indians out there, who wants, in the end, you will only end up with a short-term income. Okay, I can give you this amount of money. There you go. It's no problem. Indian currency is kind of low, very low. But if you want more of this, don't underestimate your client just because they come from another country. It's a short-term fix, and that goes for the rest of the world also. Never underestimate your customer. And another thing, if the customer is complaining like this is dried out, they come back and you say, no, it's not, it's your fault, then you will have no compassion from me. No, I will, no, you don't do that. They wouldn't go to that length to complain about a fucking eyeliner and tell you it's dried out if it ain't. If it's dried out, it's probably dried out. If they keep coming back again and again and again, then it's allowed to say, perhaps we should not buy eyeliners from me. Right? So customers can also be assholes, but in my experience, cutting a deal with Indians, whew, let's just say I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. Yeah. So Virgo, what is Virgo doing? Virgo, she is making sure that all the paperwork is in order. Now, when it comes to taxes and people who are working within the government, it's a lot of them. So let me say, there are rules they will bend. Because many of them are like snakes, they are very bendy. So what do you have to be? What do you have to do? Well, you too, when you know your rights, when you have taxes, when you have to pay your taxes, know that when you're out doing business, write off that dinner, write off that travel. If you are dealing with a customer, write off that dinner for that customer that you are buying dinner for. Rich people, they don't really possess anything on paper, do they? Okay, protect yourself, okay? So when you're out there, some people think that stealing and thefts is the way to go. So when they have to show off their paperwork, whoops, you're ending up in jail. Or you might end up with someone pointing a gun at you. So short term, you know, I've been experiencing gigolos who would punch me, keep me locked in. I've been dealing with, what I'm dealing with every day is people who are, how are you? Look my shop, how are you? Look my shop. It's going repeat. And I want to fucking punch them. It's not working. Clearly it's not working because you're still standing here in a shit pile. And nobody wants to look at your shit. And every time you open your mouth, it's working for tourists who are traveling and they are there for a few days. After some time, when you're living in a country, and after 6 months, you hear it on repeat. How are you? Look my shop. Yes, madam. It's like this. And they have 7 layers of faces. Pull them off. You don't need them. You don't need to pull a face. You don't need to be that hawk who is watching every step they move so you can make a dime. That desperation, that desperate energy that you have within yourself, people can smell it. And it's like having a dog humping your knee. I love dogs, but that dog humping my knee, shush, yeah? So protect yourself. So some people you're working with, they're not really serious about things. They're in and out. They have this tremendous idea. And wow, the next day they're not there because they had this party and they had this hangover. They're not taking anything serious. Right now, like I told you, I went to eat Baba and I said I want bath on my shoulder. The next day I came, probably Google my name. They say he would eat his food when I come in, showing that I'm not important. Telling me the day before that he had no ego. He and that woman would give each other that look like, oh my God, that's the Norwegian kind, dressed in black, and she was a Baphomet on her shoulder. And you wonder, because you just put in an order, you want that tattoo, so you wonder what kind of work had they been doing since the last time you saw them a couple of days ago or something. They didn't seem very eager to give me that tattoo. They might as well have, would have been better that they said, you know, I'm not going to tattoo that on you because we don't like you. Whatever is their problem, I don't know, but I picked up on that vibe. People are not stupid. Don't, again, underestimate your client. I don't know how many thousands of rupees they wanted for that too. that tattoo, but if your business is going that well, so well that when your client is coming, you are too busy to give them your attention and showing them the opportunities for that work, and you start to play board games while you're looking at your client, rolling your eyes. What's the issue? You can overthink it. Do you think I can't afford it, or is it because of that Jesus thing up there? You don't think I'm Jesus fully enough to? I mean, you have a picture of Kali on the wall, so I would start wondering. I could take that personal, but you know, these are like kids, you know, and then they start acting like kids. Do you want to be that? Because at some point you're going to be so this is when you need to protect yourself. You know, if you're dealing with a customer you know is going to be difficult, you need to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth this discussion? Because one customer might be famous and millions of people is looking at him or her. Ask yourself, is it worth that quarrel? Now, that customer might also be mafia, so ask yourself, is it worth it? You know, sometimes we just need to pack our things and get the hell away from there. What made you attract that situation in the first place? Protect yourself. And I'm not talking about this voodoo doll here. I'm walking past shops with this thing hanging outside their shop. And I asked them, why the hell do you have that? I think it's cute, but why do you have that thing hanging outside your shop dead? And it means good luck. Well, good luck. I don't believe in that Jesus stuff. I happen to think it's kind of cool, but think a little bit about what you want to sell and what you are displaying in your window. You know, you don't want dead animals, dead people, or you know, like I said, know your audience, and this is why we have Oosterwolder business model for that, so you can have a, you know, I was trying to help a businessman in Nepal the other day, and I told him, get hold of the Oosterwolder business model so I can help you out with that. He didn't listen. The only thing I got was this invitation shit so he could get to Norway, and he would talk about absolutely everything else. And if you're going to do business with someone, make sure that you're paying attention to what they want, and don't think about what money you can make from this, because they're going to pick up on that too at some point or some, and then don't want to come back to you. Okay, at the same time you need to know your worth. Now be a little bit original in your thinking, because like I told you, I'm going past streets there and I see, yes ma'am, and they all sell the same shit. I'm going to find out what that thing I currently purchased is worth anyway, and I'm not going to pay that extra. I'm going to pay as cheap as possible. I don't care if I've got some coins more than you do. I'm still going to get it cheap as possible. And if you're going to be, well, you know, when I go into Indian shops, sometimes they would be all around me staring at me like I'm some kind of, you know, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because you know you are a prey, and we don't like it. So let the customer relax, whatever they are, you know, hello, whatever you need, just ask me, I'm right here. You know, try to read them, try to read people a little bit. What do they need? What do they don't need? What, you know, so you're new. If you're standing in Goa here and you're selling the exact thing as the neighbor do, how original is that? You know, you can go, I can go to the next neighbor and I can tell him that, you know, he offered me these things, it was 8,000. I do that a lot. Besides, that was Nepal. So if I'm really going to buy big, and go to Nepal again. But how original are you? How original, how much what can you offer to your new boss or to your clients or out there, which is actually kind of needed? Are you needed? Are your services needed? Are you asking for too much? Or can you... This is about connection, people. Most people who are hired into good jobs or jobs in general, it's a friend of your father or friend of a friend, or these are in the areas you want to look. You want to go out, meet people, talk to people, present them, and not the first thing you're doing, like this Nepal guy. Oh, by the way, fill out this paperwork. We are friends now. You want to sleep with me? I'm going to sleep with you tonight. I'm only kidding. By the way, we can get married if I give you this and this much money. Goodbye. It's not very original. It's that annoying dog, annoying dairy dog, annoying whatever dog it is. It's that piece of shit you want to get rid of as fast as possible in your life, because there's nobody home. Knock knock, everyone home? No, it's nobody home. You want to be that mysterious little beast that someone is... What is that? This is different. You're different. I was talking to someone else. He's the main singer in a band called Turbo Negro. Very famous band, especially in Norway, but also all over the world. Rock band. And for some reason, he wasn't particularly interested in talking with the other people around him, because they were all interested in taking selfies. So someone would plant me in front of him, and I was lucky to have a intellectual, nice conversation with this guy for 2 hours, and he would ask me lots of questions about me, who I am. Turns out me and him had a lot of things in common. Because why? I wasn't interested in him being a world famous leading rock singer. I didn't give a shit. I was more interested in what are you interested in talking about? Turns out we were both interested in talking about occult things, or spiritual things, or metaphysics, or whatever. Things that are deep, things that are, in the end, I did get a selfie. Why not? Right? But it was not about sitting there talking with someone who are famous. He was talking to a person. I was talking to a person. I was just pretending I didn't even know who he was, basically. But he was an interesting individual. I got the connection. Everyone else, he barely didn't see them. Why? Look at me, piss drunk. See me, see me, see me, see me. Don't send energies out that smells of desperation, because they do have a scent to them and they are not attractive. They're not attractive. So the question is, what is unique? What is unique about what you can offer? Because you are unique. Now the question is, you need to... If you're afraid of being seen, or being, if you can't own up to who you are, if you're shitting your pants if you're being associated with specific kind of people, then you're a pussy. Then you're a pussy. If you're going to hide the true you for the rest of your life, because you're so afraid of what people will say, everything, all the artwork you're doing, everything is going to be forgotten. You'll not be seen, because you do have something that is special. But if you're going to be living inside the framework of a specific content, then you're just going to be like the other Indians who are standing beside each other, selling the same thing, saying the same thing, being the same slick motherfucker as the other guy. And how interesting is that? Are you going to make it to the top? You already have a I am on the bottom mindset when you stand like that. Now, fake it till you make it. Namaste.